All right. Week 11 in the books. Major performances by a couple people. And little wet work got done. So hopefully you had Josh Allen on your team. That I think we always do a segment on this show called King of the Week. Well, pretty obvious who's winning that one. Who's getting that one this week? That's Mr. Josh Allen. So let's look at how he did, shall we? He had 6 touchdowns. He had 3 on the ground, and then he had 3 through the air. So if Josh Allen ever goes down, Buffalo Bills are screwed. All right. 30 attempts, 19 completions. Not great. not even good. 317 yards, which is really good. That just killing it and through the air though. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks through the air. So that's good. Not the interceptions, but the 3 touchdowns are pretty good. Again, on the ground, he had 6 carries, 40 yards, another 3 touchdowns on the ground. Just keep on solidifying why he is the MVP, the reigning MVP. You can't stop him. So what we got to do, you're not getting Josh Allen on your team. The owners of Josh Allen right now, they are not letting him go. You're not going to find him available even in Dynasty. It don't matter what you give up. They're not giving up Josh Allen because they're probably competing. So if you ain't got him yet, sorry for you, man. You should have picked him up after his bad rookie year. That's all I can say about that. But let's look at some bye weeks for week 12, okay? So for week 12, we're looking at the Broncos. So the Broncos will be on bye week. We only got 4 teams, so that's good. You only got 4 teams that are on bye. That's your Denver Broncos, Miami Dolphins, LA Chargers, and then Washington. Okay, so that's something good to at least kind of hold your hat on. The only problem is with that, let's look at the players we're missing, okay? You're missing Bo Nix, who's become a starter for you. You're missing Cortland Sutton. You're missing RJ Harvey, who just became a breakout player for you. You're missing Troy Franklin if you're playing deeper leagues. All right. On the Dolphins, man, you're pretty much Achane, and if you have to play Waddle, you're playing Waddle, but you're not happy about it. So you're replacing Achane. On the Chargers, you're replacing a lot of players here. You're replacing Justin Herbert, who had a horrible game. We'll get to that in a second. Kamani Vidal, because if you've been playing him just out of necessity, he's been a waiver wire darling. You're missing Keenan Allen. You're missing Quentin Johnston if you're kind of still riding that early season train. You're also missing Aronde Gadsden if you're in like Superflex leagues and you picked him up. You're missing him. You are. Let's see here. I got week 11 on here, don't I? That's supposed to say week 12. Let's go ahead and fix that. All right. So also from Chargers, you're missing Ladd McConkey. All right. Ladd McConkey, you're really, really enjoying him. From Washington, man, there's really nothing from Washington that you're missing right now. The whole team just hasn't been looking great. They haven't been putting a lot of points up. Jaden Daniels, so we haven't had the pieces of this offense that we had before. We don't have them right now. So that's the weird thing is that's why we haven't seen them performing the way they did last year as far as they went in the playoffs last year. So, you're not really playing any of your Washington players right now for that reason. So these are the players that we're replacing. All right, we're replacing what? You need a running back, maybe 2 running backs, and definitely two quarterbacks, and then a receiver. So, I mean, at least good thing is these aren't like fantasy like heavy teams. So that's a plus. It's not like you were starting the Dolphins defense by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so let's get into a little bit of news here. Okay, so CJ Stroud is going to miss Week 12 again with a concussion. So it looks like the concussion that CJ Stroud suffered 2 weeks ago was really bad. I mean, if you saw the video, you saw like it was pretty nasty. So I'm hoping that kid gets better soon because he's got a lot of good football ahead of him to play. I feel real bad that he's playing like he is because I still believe in the talent of CJ Stroud. Aaron Rodgers, if you were playing Aaron Rodgers, which this also has to do with DK Metcalf, Pat Freiermuth, these guys, Aaron Rodgers, they're saying he will not need surgery on his fractured wrist. Okay. But the wrist is on his non-throwing hand. So what this means is they're probably going to tape it up really heavy, kind of almost in a cast, and then see how it goes from there. Aaron Rodgers will be fine. He's been pretty tough in his career, so there's nothing really I don't think there's really anything to worry about with him. I don't think there's going to be much as far as him scrambling and things like that. I think the offensive line is really going to understand, like, hey, we got to protect Aaron this week, or at least for the next couple of weeks until his hand starts to feel a little better. But it will be bothering him. I'm not worried about the pain with the way medicine is now, like painkillers and all that stuff like that. Like, he'll be fine. Cortisone shots, whatever. I mean, hell, they were giving us cortisone shots back in like the early 2000s. So I don't know if I should have said that or not. But anyways. So Jamar Chase. So let's just spitball here for a second. Yeah, I just went there. Jamar Chase spit in the face of Jalen Ramsey. Jamar Chase accused Jalen Ramsey of some things, and that's why he did it, blah, blah, blah. Jalen Ramsey said, no, that didn't happen. But regardless, Jamar Chase is going to be suspended for 1 game. And I haven't heard anything about Jalen Ramsey if he is also getting suspended for throwing a punch. Normally, you are suspended at least a game for throwing a punch. I don't know, but for Jamar Chase, though, man, you can't do that. You cannot be spitting in people's face. I don't care what your excuse is. Like, you just can't do that. You're a professional. You can't do that in the NFL. But another one, Josh Jacobs. So they're saying Josh Jacobs does not actually need surgery for his knee. That he suffered an injury on his knee. They're saying he does not need surgery, but having him from Week 12 is not likely. Okay. I would go ahead and say they're going to sit him, especially with a knee issue, and he's a running back, take a lot of wear and tear on the body. So I would not expect a lot from Josh Jacobs. So Justin Fields has been doing so badly that they are benching him. All right. So Mr. Tyrod Taylor is going to get the start. The Jets don't have anything to play for. Plus, Justin Fields wasn't getting it done for you anyway. The crazy thing is, man, a lot of people were high on Justin Fields after he signed that big contract, and he had some good talent, man. He honestly did. At the beginning of the season, let's look at it. You had Breece Hall, and then his backup, Braylon Allen. And then tight end, you drafted Mason Taylor, and then you had the veteran Jeremy Ruckert. You had Garrett Wilson. Just him by himself is good, but you also had Alan Lazard and a few others. So it looked really good for the Jets offense. It really did. But there's just something about the Jets, man. I don't get it. Just something about the Jets. And it doesn't make any sense. Why on earth the Jets they can't figure it out ever. Doesn't matter who their quarterback is. Doesn't matter how much talent they have on the team. I don't get it. Next, Drake London. So Drake London suffered a PCL sprain. He will not play Week 12. So you will have to shift gears on that as far as Drake London goes, but also Michael Penix. So I'm pretty much I'm not excited about the Falcons because now, like, if Penix can't go, if his knee's too bad, then Kirk Cousins is going to be in there. But I mean, he's going to be throwing a Kyle Pitts, and then Bijan Robinson, who could be the team's leading receiver. Because Bijan Robinson is just that good, man. Bijan's a freak. He's nasty. So yeah. So Drake London is going to be out for week 12, and they're saying a little longer, maybe, depending on how bad that is. I mean, anything with the CL at the end of it is not good. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Next, we're looking at something that was really weird. So I know Keon Coleman hasn't really been like kind of lighting it up for you, but he was a healthy scratch on Sunday. So if you know what that's all about, let me know. Keon Coleman just is somebody that I wanted him to be good. It hasn't worked out, but man, it is what it is. Healthy scratch on there. So it's probably not looking good for Keon Coleman. Chances are they'll probably bring in another wide receiver in the draft to not use. So Keon Coleman will just sit. The wide receivers will just sit there for the Bills, and they won't ever do anything because Josh Allen doesn't know how to throw the ball and use his receivers efficiently. So yes, he did have 3 touchdowns this week, but they weren't in like traditional form. But anyways, moving on. So we talked about Michael Penix a second ago with the whole Drake London stuff. So Michael Penix is probably out for the rest of the year. He had a knee issue. They're saying it's potentially season ending. We'll see about that. They say they're getting a second opinion. So hopefully that goes okay for Michael Penix. I don't know what's going on with the Falcons. On paper, like the Falcons just look really good, but they're having trouble putting it together. I don't know. It's like one week you'll have just a solid performance, and then the next, it's like they don't know how to play football anymore. So next we got Dylan Gabriel. So Dylan Gabriel came out and he went down with a concussion. All right. After getting his chance, he was drafted first, all that, which is great. So obviously they're going to give him the nod first because, he has the draft capital, which is weird because everybody expected the Browns to take Shedeur Sanders early in the first round, and they did not do that. So anyway, so the Shedeur Sanders experience has begun in Cleveland, at least for week 11. We'll see how it is going forward. But the thing is, man, he kind of sucked. So, look, here's the line, okay? Here's the line. 16 attempts, only 4 completions out of 16. Boy, that's booty cheeks. That's horrible. 47 yards. 47 measly yards. 0 touchdowns. But he did get one thing, though. He did get an interception. So that's one thing. So if you were waiting on Shedeur Sanders to come in and just light the world on fire, he didn't. He just lit himself on fire. He did nothing to help you. QB rating of 2.4. So absolutely booty cheeks. I heard somebody call him in Shaduki. He played like Shaduki. So, mate, look, we'll give him a pass on this because it was the Ravens, but I don't know. I don't think you can. I think there's so much hype around this kid. I'm still not touching Shedeur Sanders. Like, I'm not giving up anything for him. I don't think I want him on my team, even for like a 4th, a 3rd, whatever. That I don't want him, man. I don't really want any of these Browns quarterbacks. I'm not happy about touching the Browns at all. Like the team is just bad. Other than Quinshon Judkins, but even he had a bad week for you. He only had 17 touches with about 59 yards, so no touchdown. So that's not great for you. It was not a great day if you were starting Quinshon Judkins, and hopefully you didn't have to start any of their pass catchers because that was horrible. I mean, 81 total passing yards between the two quarterbacks, if that tells you anything. So you're not very happy with that performance at all. But anyway, so enough about Shaduki. Jalen Warren suffered an ankle injury, so you will be looking to change gears from Jalen Warren to Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth Gainwell should not really be on waivers so much, but, I mean, he might. You never know. So, as far as Calvin Ridley, let's look at the Titans. I wish we didn't have to because the Titans are so bad. They're pretty much going for the first pick right now. The Titans have nothing else to play for. They have everything to lose for. They have the 101 locked up. They only have one win on the season. They have the worst record. They need to not mess this up, not do like the Giants did last year against the Colts and mess around and win a game that hurt you, that you should not have won. But I don't know. This is a weird one here with the Titans. So Calvin Ridley broke his fibula, so he's out for the season. And it's not like you were very excited to start Calvin Ridley anyway. So what you got to do here is just give up all hope on Titans. Don't play any of your Titans at all. Just leave them. Calvin Ridley's gone, so good. Cut him off your team. That way you don't even have to look at him anymore and think about it. But this does open the door for DK, for Shamir DK. Maybe you'll have to wait another week because he suffered a concussion in week 11. So he could be back week 12. We don't know. The thing is with these concussions, as we just talked about with CJ Stroud, is CJ Stroud's going on 2 weeks of being out with a concussion. So, and it's a early game. So they got a Thursday game. So they probably just went ahead and said, hey, we can just know for a fact he's not playing. Get him out of here. But with Shamir DK, with his concussion, I don't think it's that bad, but I'm not a doctor. But we'll see how it goes. But I would go ahead and snag him up because people might be dropping him. But we'll see. All right. Whew. All right. It's late here where I'm at. So let's get into some waivers, shall we? So our first waiver ad for the evening for week 12, we're going to be looking at Mr. Alec Pierce. Okay. Alec Pierce, the Colts were on a bye week this week. So Alec Pierce was probably available for you, at least a little bit more available. On Sleeper Leagues, now all these availabilities are on Sleeper Leagues, okay, just so you know. All right, 59% rostered on Sleeper Leagues. Now, if he's available on waivers, which hopefully he is, but dog it. So he has a okay, I want to say favorable. Now, when I say favorable for a receiver, okay, what I mean by favorable for a receiver means it's going to be high scoring and they have a decent quarterback. Okay. Alec Pierce has both of those things coming up. In week 12, the Colts will be facing the Kansas City Chiefs. They're going to be in Arrowhead. So I expect this to be a high scoring game. And Daniel Jones has looked pretty good this year. So I don't think this is bad for Alec Pierce. So you can go ahead and add him if he's available. But with the Chiefs, they're going to be looking at locking down primarily Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman Jr. So I think Alec Pierce is going to have a field day against Kansas City. So go ahead and get him. He would probably be one of my biggest waiver ads this week. All right. So along with Alec Pierce, let's look at somebody else who had a big week, and that's Mr. Bashal Tutin of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, he hasn't had a great season fantasy-wise, okay? This is kind of a one-off thing, but you never know. They could be looking to try and get him more and more involved in the offense, which would be good because Bashal Tutin is very, very talented. And even better, he's only owned in 24% of sleeper leagues. So But, I mean, he put up 74 yards and he got a touchdown. So that helps a lot. Now, yes, it does eat into your Travis Etienne shares, which I've said many times. I still think Travis Etienne is a good a good running back. Okay. Bashal Tutin doesn't scare me. I still think as long as Trevor Lawrence is the quarterback there, that Travis Etienne is going to be the starting running back. But Bashal Tutin would have a lot of value if Etienne were to go down. So, speaking of going down, okay, we had Josh Jacobs, we just talked about, with a knee injury, who could be missing a lot of time. So, there are backups, okay? One of the biggest waiver ads, one of the biggest waiver ads is going to be Emmanuel Wilson, the backup running back for Green Bay. He's only owned in 17% of sleeper leagues, which is really good because that means he's very, very available. I'm going to go ahead and guarantee the 17% of that he's owned, they don't have waiver wires in their leagues, and they're probably a Green Bay Packers fan. That's the only reason I'm going to say 17% is because those don't have waiver wires. Because there's no way he was on a roster before then. No way. There's you're not thinking about him. So, but look, I like Emmanuel Wilson. I think he can be okay. I don't know. The Green Bay offense is good. It's very good. So you're not going to have anything to worry about there. Let's look at another Wilson, shall we? So another gentleman by the last name Wilson that you should definitely be going and picking up immediately is Mr. Michael Wilson, wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. So, Michael Wilson comes out of nowhere and has an amazing game. I mean, we're talking about 18 targets, 15 receptions. So just right there, you've got 15 points. Before he does anything else, he's getting you 15 points, which is amazing. So with those 15 receptions, he got you 185 yards. That's a bunch of yards, boy. So no touchdowns, though. So that's the thing, no touchdowns. It would have been really awesome if he got a touchdown. I think if Michael Wilson would have got a touchdown, he would have been at least arguable for our King of the Week candidate. But we already know Josh Allen took that with 3 on the ground and 3 through the air. Dang, I should have made me a glass of a W before the show, man. So yeah, Michael Wilson. Go get you some Michael Wilson, man. Like he went off. He went off. But so we talked about earlier about how Jaylen Warren had an ankle injury. All right. We saw the last time Jaylen Warren was out. We saw what happened. His backup, Kenneth Gainwell, came in and dominated. I mean, dominated to the point of 19 attempts, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Like he went nuclear for a backup running back. He got you about 31 points in fantasy. So, again, Kenneth Gainwell did it again. Kenneth Gainwell came out and showed you why, hey, like, I need to be on your team because he came out in 9 carries. He got 24 yards on the ground. But check this out. Where he did his damage is through the air, okay? Kenneth Gainwell had 8 targets. 8 targets out of the backfield, 7 receptions, okay? So that's 7 points right there. 81 yards. So 7 receptions and 81 yards to go with it. And then he put 2 touchdowns on top of it. 2. Kenneth Gainwell is a threat if Jaylen Warren is out or hurt or not 100%. Kenneth Gainwell is dangerous. The best part about it, he's only owned in 55% of sleeper leagues. So he's available. Bro, you got to go get you some Kenneth Gainwell on your team. This is somebody that could be a league winner. If Jaylen Warren goes down for the season, this is a league winner right here. Like, you've got to look into Kenneth Gainwell 100%. So go do that, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. Let's look at some defensive matchups. All right. Let's look at week 12. Obviously, the biggest defense that everybody wants is whoever's playing the Jets. So let's look at it here this week. The Ravens defense is playing the Jets. Okay. So Baltimore Ravens, they are owned in 87% of leagues. Okay. People are already scooping them up. But for that 13% of people not that don't have or that do have them available on waiver wire, you better go get the Baltimore Ravens. Any defense, you play the defense that's playing the Jets every week, and you don't think about it. Even with Tyrod Taylor coming in, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference one bit. Another defense you want to play this week is going to be Seattle. Seattle's playing Tennessee, so that just means that with Tennessee having issues, they're missing Calvin Ridley. Shamir DK may be out. Like, I don't know. We don't know. It could be that way. Brandon Hallam says Texans get a W on the Bills. I mean, they might, man. If you can contain Josh Allen, that's how you win against the Bills. Plain and simple. That's how you win against the Bills is control Josh Allen. Because we see, like, if Josh Allen goes down or misses time for the Bills for any reason, they're screwed. Their entire offense is built around Josh Allen, 100%. Now he's lethal. Don't get me wrong, but bro, he doesn't need anybody else really on his team. He can kind of do it on his own. So yeah, if the Texans defense, which the Texans defense can do a lot, if they can contain Josh Allen, they're gonna win. That's all you got to do, man. But I believe in DeMeco Ryans. I do. So I think DeMeco Ryans is going to scheme his guys up, get them ready, and I think the Texans are going to be ready for Josh Allen. The next defense you want to play is the Detroit Lions. They're playing at home against the New York Giants. So the New York Giants, riddled with injury, of course, missing Cam Scatterboo, and we don't know Jackson Dart's outlook. Jameis Winston, he's just going to throw the ball all over the place. So you want to fire up the Detroit Lions against the Giants. They are going to be at home. So those are the defensive matchups that we want to target. We want to look at those people here. So we got Dustin Wells in the building. What's up, Dustin? What's up, man? Would you prioritize Christian Watson or Emmanuel Wilson? My wide receiver and RBs are pretty even. Wouldn't mind adding one, though. Also, how much fab? Okay. So it's going to depend on how long Josh Jacobs is out. So if this is somebody, are you looking for a seasonal thing? Or are you looking for just like a spot start situation? Because that's gonna make a difference as well. So let me know, because a knee contusion, I mean, that could be a couple week thing. I mean, that could knock him out for like 4 or 5 weeks. I mean, we'll see how it goes. They're not talking about putting him on IR, so that's good. So if he's only going to be out maybe like 1-2 weeks, then I would go Emmanuel Wilson. But, man, that's a tough one. Look, he's going to be the starting running back. And if you want to look and see what the starting running back numbers are, let's take a look at Josh Jacobs right now. Now, I'm not saying Emmanuel Wilson is Josh Jacobs. Don't hear what I'm not saying. But let's look at starting at week 1, okay? Home against Detroit, 14 points. Home against Washington, 14 points. At Cleveland, 12 points. At Dallas, 31 points. Okay, that's with 4 receptions and 71 yards at Dallas. Okay, so they will throw the ball to the running back. Okay, at Cleveland, he had 9 targets. Okay, so think about that. They went on a bye week, and then at home against Cincinnati, he had 5 targets, and he put 93 on the ground with 2 on the ground. It's 32 fantasy points. At Arizona, now we're still talking about Josh Jacobs. At Arizona, Josh Jacobs gave you 18 fantasy points because he had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Didn't get a lot of carries. He only had 13 carries. But at Pittsburgh, he had 13 points and 1 touchdown. Home against Carolina and Philly, he had about 39, almost 40 points in those 2 matchups. He had about 11 targets and a touchdown in each game. And then against the Giants, of course, we know he got hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and say Emmanuel Wilson because looking at the numbers from Josh Jacobs, the Packers starting running back, they are going to use him not only on the ground, but they're going to use him through the air. Okay. And Emmanuel Wilson can fit that role as well. So, was it currently teetering on 6 in playoff standings and got to keep winning? Well, go ahead and get Emmanuel Wilson, man. I like him more than I like Christian Watson, excuse me. Go ahead and get Emmanuel Wilson. He's actually you just missed our waiver segment, and Emmanuel Wilson was on that list as well. So just from the usage, excuse me, y'all. So just from the usage that Green Bay uses their running backs, I'm going to say Emmanuel Wilson, man. Thank you for the question. So looking at our matchups here, let's go ahead and let's foreshadow a little bit. All right. So the Texans on the Thursday game, which you can watch on Amazon Prime, we've got the Bills traveling to Houston to play the Texans. All right. So what that means is you are going to be able to fire up. I think the Texans defense could actually be sneaky good unless you have one of those leagues where you lose a lot of points for the other offense scoring a lot of points. But as I stated to Brandon in the chat is I believe in DeMeco Ryans. I think DeMeco Ryans is going to know how to contain Josh Allen, and he's going to make Josh Allen use his arm to beat you. I'm not going to let the 3 touchdowns fool me that he had this week. I'm not going to let that fool me and scare me. Those weren't like traditional. Josh Allen's not a traditional passer. He can pass the ball, but he'd prefer to run the ball. So if DeMeco Ryans contains him, he's going to be forced to throw the ball. And it's going to be hard to throw the ball when you're benching Keon Coleman on a healthy scratch. Why would you do that? Like, he's one of your better wide receivers. Why would you do that? Dalton Kincaid's already hurt. Bro, Dawson Knox was there. He didn't give Dawson Knox any love at all. What the hell's that about, man? Great for the team if you're building around that guy, but not good just on his own. But anyway, so this is going to be a game where I think Davis Mills, and I say Davis Mills because CJ Stroud has already been declared out for Week 12. So Davis Mills is going to have to throw the ball a ton. Okay, so this is going to be good for your Nico Collins, who had a big week this week. And this is also going to be big for, now, hear me out, Christian Kirk. Okay, I think Christian Kirk is going to have a good game here. So next, let's go to 12 o'clock slate on Sunday. All right. We are looking at the Colts traveling to Kansas City, Missouri to face the Chiefs. So I'm expecting this to be a very, very high scoring game. Let's see here. I think the over-under on it's like 50.5, 49.5, somewhere in that range. So the sports books aren't really expecting it to be that high, but I am. I think this is going to be 2 high-powered offenses. You've got Patrick Mahomes looking really good ever since Rashee Rice came back. So that's good for him. That's good for it's just good for the league when you have your stars back and healthy and performing. I think it makes football really fun to watch. No matter what you think about the Chiefs, I mean, that's kind of the face of the NFL right now, so they're going to push them. But anyway, so Chiefs, Colts have been just firing on all cylinders, man. They're 8-2. No one saw this coming. No one gave Daniel Jones any thought at all. They didn't think anything was going to be good. Jonathan Taylor has been ripping it. He's almost to 1,200 yards on the season, and it's only going into Week 12, and he just had a bye week too. So, minus 150 yards for him, what he normally gets in a game or in a week. So he's got 15 touchdowns. He's killing it. So you want to start Jonathan Taylor because he's going to get his. I think this is going to be a massive game for Alec Pierce, who has been one of my waiver wire ads, because they are going to key in on Michael Pittman Jr. and Tyler Warren. So the reason I think they're going to key in on Tyler Warren is because, they've got a pretty special tight end in the building that the defense has had to go against for a long time now. And that's Travis Kelce. So they know how to play against and defend against an elite tight end, which if pace continues and progression continues, Tyler Warren will be an elite tight end at some point. So they know what to do. They know how to defend against a tight end, a good tight end. I think that's why I think Alec Pierce is going to have a big game. And of course, Jonathan Taylor, I think, is going to get his as well. So look for him to have a good game there. Obviously, I think Rashee Rice is going to do well. But think about this. You got Sauce Gardner. Okay, the Colts have Sauce Gardner now. That makes a difference. Sauce Gardner. Now, I'll be looking at the practice reports and seeing if they're going to be shadowing Rice or maybe even Worthy, and then kind of seeing like, okay, what's he doing there? Is he shadowing, or is he just going to play one side? What's going to happen? So if they shadow, then this isn't going to be really great for Rashee Rice because Sauce Gardner is probably the best corner in the league, man. How the Colts got Sauce Gardner, but two first-round picks. The thing that makes me think that the Jets are idiots is, yes, I get it. They're first-round picks. I get it. But they should be late first-round picks, late first-round picks. You ain't replacing Sauce Gardner with a late first this year or next year. You're not. That's not how – you don't get a guy like Sauce Gardner that late. Has it happened in the past? Yes, okay? But it doesn't happen all the time. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen all the time. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is going to have a game because it's going to be a lot of points. Patrick Mahomes is going to do his thing. So he's going to, look for Patrick Mahomes to have a great game. So if you're in, your daily fantasy, things like that, he's going to be somebody that you want. Steelers, Bears. All right. Steelers are traveling to Chicago, and Caleb Williams has actually quietly had a really good season. All right. If we're over here and we're going to talk about how Daniel Jones has looked really good, this and that, Caleb Williams right behind him. Right behind him. Actually, Caleb Williams has about 300 less yards and 2 less touchdowns, but he also has 3 less interceptions too, which those are negative points in some leagues. So Caleb Williams against the Steelers should do pretty decent. But the only thing is Mike Tomlin, man. Mike Tomlin gonna get you. Mike Tomlin is a future Hall of Fame coach, man. This guy knows football. After Bill Belichick, it's hard to find coaches as good as Mike Tomlin. I know you got your Bill Parcells. I get it, right? But Mike Tomlin's defense should be able to handle the Bears. The Bears just got so many dang weapons, man. So many dang weapons. So on a team like that, for fantasy, I want to go ahead and get me some Caleb Williams because I think he's going to be all over the place. But Mike Tomlin's teams are not afraid to put a lick on somebody. They don't play fair in Pittsburgh. They'll knock the piss out of you. I don't think Caleb Williams has that dog. I don't think he's got that rock solid heart. I think they put one good hard lick on Caleb Williams. They're gonna knock his fingernail polish off, and he's gonna cry, and he'll pretty much give up the game. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers' fractured non-throwing hand is gonna bother him at all. I guarantee you, he's gonna come out and everything's gonna be wrapped up tight, and he'll be protecting it. Good thing is Aaron Rodgers makes throws, weird throws all the time. So being able to do that off balance is not going to be hard for him. He was doing Patrick Mahomes stuff before Patrick Mahomes was out of high school. So, Mahomes was still in Little League when Aaron Rodgers was doing his thing. So, if anything, that's who Mahomes learned it from, was Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers would be all right. He's just a little older now. That's all. So the Patriots going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Bengals defense is atrocious. I mean, they bad. They bad. The Patriots are going to beat the brakes off the Bengals. Bengals aren't going to have Jamar Chase because the boy likes to spit on people. He spit on Jalen Ramsey. We talked about that earlier. We don't know what they said between each other. Both parties are going to deny it anyway, but no Jamar Chase. So this should be T. Higgins lockdown day. All right. So if you're the Bengals, like I don't know what you're going to do. Mike Vrabel is going to plan his whole defense around shutting down T. Higgins. This is going to be bad. The Patriots are going to beat the brakes. I mean, they're putting belt to ass on the Bengals this week. So, Patriots defense for sure. For sure is a starter for me. Go ahead and do that. I think TreVeyon Henderson, again, is going to have a really good game. Finally, like, been telling everybody since, like, week 2, week 3, like, bro, go get TreVeyon Henderson on your team. Because people were like, oh, he's not doing good after 3 weeks or so. They started dropping him and this and that. And then I'm like, nope, wait. I'm telling you, wait. He is so much better than Ramondre Stevenson. He gets his shot, and what happens? He shows you why he should be the top running back for New England. TreVeyon Henderson is going to be a top running back in this league for probably the next 5 years. So if you can, go trade for TreVeyon Henderson right now. Go trade for TreVeyon Henderson now. Do it. Cannot tell you enough. Go trade for TreVeyon Henderson now. So if you even want to look at why, all right, let's look at their schedule down the stretch here, okay? All right, so here it is. They're playing the Bengals this week, week 12. Then they have the Giants. Then they have the Bills. Then they have don't forget, TreVeyon Henderson can catch. That fool will catch everything you send his way. So, and then after that, they go play the Ravens. Again, TreVeyon Henderson can catch. So he's not game script dependent. And then they play the Jets, who, if TreVeyon Henderson is healthy, bro, and after the Jets, once he gets done beating the brakes off the Jets, then he's got the Dolphins to close the season out. Dude, come on, man. You're gonna have TreVeyon Henderson playing the Jets in your championship game. Now, of course, depending how far your playoffs go, but you will have him play the Jets in the playoffs. That's juicy. Get that, man. So go get you TreVeyon Henderson. Do I need to say it again? All right. I'll say it again for the people in the back. Go trade for TreVeyon Henderson right now. And then come back and thank me later. So, going back to our matchups. If you can't tell, I like TreVeyon Henderson. I think TreVeyon Henderson is a really good talent. So, next, we got the Giants. The injury-riddled Giants. Po Malik Neighbors. Po Cam Scatterboo. Po Jackson Dart. Such a young, talented team. It's just not going very good there. Losing your head coach already. He gone. They are traveling to Detroit, Motor City. They are going in to face the Lions, and it's not going to be pretty. The Lions should embarrass them, boys. It's not going to be good for the G-men. The Lions going to turn them into G-girls. That's how bad it's going to be. So, play all your Lions, all of them. You shouldn't have a problem here. Play all of them. Play the Giants defense too. I ain't kidding. Play all the Lions. If there's a spot where you can play Dan Campbell, the head coach, play Dan Campbell, the head coach. Because the Giants going to get that butt whipped. I mean, whipped. So next matchup, we've got a good one. We've got the Vikings going to Wisconsin, and they are going to be playing the Packers. Vikings look pretty dang good, y'all. Pretty good. The Packers losing Josh Jacobs on offense is not going to be great, but as we discussed earlier, Emmanuel Wilson should be stepping in. Really, honestly, whatever running back that they put in there is gonna do okay because they like to utilize the running back in that offense, which fits Josh Jacobs because Josh Jacobs is a very good catching back, very good receiving back, and he's just a darn good running back in general. I know what is this here? I ain't doing that. That's dumb. Anyways, just got a trade offer that makes no sense at all. All right, so Seattle next on the docket is going to be Seattle. Oh wait, we didn't finish with Vikings at Green Bay. So it's home for Green Bay. Man, I really just like the Vikings in this one. I think the Packers are going to find ways to get it done, but I'm going to give this one the Vikings, man. I think the Vikings are just going to dominate this game. So this one's an easy one. You got Seattle going to Nashville to face the Titans. This isn't going to be close, you guys. This is going to be a butt whooping. So Kenneth Walker should just eat and eat and eat on this. I'm looking for Kenneth Walker to get 3 touchdowns in this game. Yeah, you heard me. I said it. I think Kenneth Walker's going to get 3 touchdowns in this game. JSN's probably going to get about 110 yards. This Titans fans please don't watch this game. I don't want to hear about any personal bodily injuries. This ain't going to be good. Start Seattle's defense. Start Sam Darnold. Start JSN. Start Kenneth Walker. And you know what? Start whichever tight end that you want because everybody's going to probably eat in this game. But Kenneth Walker's my favorite in this. I'm not playing any Titans. Like I'm not one. I'm not even thinking about it. If Cam Ward's my starting quarterback, sorry, I'm looking somewhere else. Like Cam Ward is off my team. I don't care. Cam Ward should not be on any rosters right now at all whatsoever. Don't even put that evil on your roster. Don't give yourself that even option of temptation. Don't do it. Don't do it. Another situation. Jets. Ravens. Bro, you can't trust any Jet in this one. Man, I would say maybe Mason Taylor? Question mark? Bro, this is going to be Lamar and Derrick Henry day. Lamar and Derrick Henry are about to get about easily $150 on the ground each. Okay? That's $150 per person. The Jets just this is gonna be bad. Play the Ravens defense. You're obviously playing Lamar Jackson. I know he put up a dud for you the other day, but don't buy into that. Hey, look, everybody has a down game every now and then. Okay, it happens. But go ahead and fire up your Derrick Henry confidently this time. I know he's had a week or so, but whatever. Next, let's get into the afternoon slate. That second slate of games. All right, we're looking at the Browns going to Vegas. All right. So if you have gambling problems, call 1-800. Just don't gamble. Just don't gamble. So the Browns going to Vegas. Both these teams, this is horrible, man. Both these teams suck, dude. I don't know. Okay, so this could be one of those games where, you know how sometimes you have a game where both teams are just horrible. They're the worst teams in the league. They're the bottom two, but somehow it's actually interesting. I think this is going to be interesting in the way of it's going to be comical. Like, I think Geno Smith is money for an interception every week. All right. Slayton always says on the show, go get your money. Bet the over on Geno Smith over 0.5 interceptions. He did it again. He did it. Slayton told you to do that, and Geno Smith keeps making you money. Okay. So as long as Geno Smith is the quarterback, you bet the over on 0.5 interceptions. You do it. That's kind of a rule here on Kingmaker Sports. Go ahead and do that. But this is a game where the Browns actually might be okay, but I still am going to give the edge to the Raiders because I think okay. Ashton Jeanty has been such a letdown this year. All right. Such a letdown. We wanted Ashton Jeanty to be something, and it never happened. But it's not all Ashton Jeanty's fault, okay? Hear me out on this. It's not all his fault. So Ashton Jeanty actually had to make things happen with his hands, not just his legs. So they're feeding him the ball, but he's only broken 100 yards one time this season. Okay. His offensive line is just so bad. It's holding back his fantasy potential. So this is a tough one because Cleveland has a decent defense. All right. They're not like lights out like the Texans. They're not like that. Don't get me wrong. They're not like that. But they're decent. Okay. They're decent. Man, I want to say Ashton Jeanty is going to do well, but I don't think he is, man. I think the Browns are going to hold Jeanty in check. This is going to be a massive, massive Brock Bowers game. Brock Bowers is kind of game script proof. I'm not happy about any of these players. I'm playing Quint. Look, these are the players I'm playing from this matchup. For the Browns, I'm playing Quinshon Judkins. End of list. That's it. Just Quinshon Judkins. That's it. End of list. Especially if Shedeur Sanders is starting. But maybe if they do name him as a starter with Dylan Gabriel being out for concussion, if he's going to be out, because you got to think right now, Shedeur Sanders is getting those reps. Like he's going with the first team right now, so that could help him. So I'm not going to hold it against him. I don't think he's NFL caliber, but hey, look, I'll give him a shot. I'm not going to hold it against the kid. We'll go ahead and let him see how a full week of reps with the first team offense could help him. Good thing is the Raiders are not that good. Bad thing is Max Crosby is that good. So Max Crosby is going to be in Shedeur's face if he's starting. And you're going to see what he's made of. Because once Max Crosby puts a licking on Shedeur Sanders, you're going to see what this kid's made of. So I'm not going to make any judgment calls. I'm going to wait and see what happens on Sunday. And we'll go from there. But as far as the Raiders go, I'm going to fire up Trey Tucker. And I'm going to fire up Brock Bowers. I can't really confidently trust Ashton Jeanty against this. But you drafted him in the top 2 rounds, so you have to start him. Unless you were smart, you traded him away. Hopefully that was the case. Hopefully that's the case. Okay. So with trade deadlines coming up, maybe you could trade an Ashton Jeanty for somebody. Because most trade deadlines are going to be over right before he starts, right before the game starts. Okay, so if that's the situation, that's the case, then you want to go ahead and you want to trade him away and get a better asset. Okay, so next game, we're looking at the Jaguars traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. So the Jaguars, first off, what happened with the Chargers? They could not, this is not how they wanted to start their bye week. You didn't force the Jaguars to punt not one time. You didn't score a touchdown at all. Justin Herbert didn't even come close to 100 yards through the air. This Jaguars team played out of their minds against the Chargers. So and this is without Brian Thomas Jr., without their rookie Travis Hunter, and no Brenton Strange because they kept him on IR for another week. You jerks! I was so ready to put Brenton Strange back in my lineup. I had to flex that. Anyways, but without three top performers here, and I think they didn't have Parker Washington either. So where did this come from? With that being said, I think with this, I'm gonna go ahead and ride Trevor Lawrence. Okay, I think Trevor Lawrence is gonna do well, and I'm gonna ride with ETN again. So I'm expecting Brenton Strange to come back. I think they held him out just one more week, thinking that this was going to be a butt whooping by the Chargers, and it wasn't. So I think Brenton Strange is going to be back this week. So if he's available, go grab him. All right. But let's go to the Cardinal side of the ball. Okay. So Jacoby Brissett is probably going to start again. Excuse me. If he's starting, obviously we're firing up Trey McBride. There's not a scenario this whole season where we're not going to start Trey McBride. So you're firing him up. I think if Trey Benson comes back, that would be kind of fun to fire him up. But Bam Knight's been looking okay. I don't think they're in any rush to bring Trey Benson back because Bam Knight's been looking okay. Trey Benson's still the better running back in my opinion. But my opinion don't matter. It's their team. But Michael Wilson, you're picking him up on waivers and you're playing him because you're not going to pick him up and not play him. So go ahead and that's who we're going to go with for there. Eagles, Cowboys. Eagles are traveling to Dallas. Okay. We just saw Dallas put a whooping on the Raiders. I don't know how the Raiders got 16 points. I didn't expect them to really score really any. I thought the Raiders were only going to get about 2 field goals and call it good. But anyway, so the Eagles going to Dallas, 2 good offenses. The Cowboys defense actually looks better now with their addition of Quinn Williams. What's the other guy? Cannot remember his name, but the defense looks better. Okay. So the Eagles, defending world champions, going into Dallas, into Jerry World. And I think this is going to be good for Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley is in familiar territory where he knows that he can tear up the Cowboys. He always has. So Saquon Barkley is going to eat. He's going to be one of your top performers for the Eagles. And we saw what A.J. Brown did. Oh, gotta get a little W energy drink, man. So we saw what A.J. Brown did, talking all that crap, getting the dang owner down there on the field. So like he gets a lot of targets. This always happens. The loud mouse, it always works. So Cowboys, bro, you start all your Cowboys. Their offense is just really good. Their defense hasn't been able to help them out. So maybe this is the turnaround for the Cowboys. Maybe now that they've got got these two new additions on defense, they're going to be able to make a difference here. And they're going to be able to turn it around. Because right now they're sitting at 4-5-1. So that tie, man, that puts you in limbo. I always hate how those work out. I don't think any sporting event should end in a tie at all, ever. No, for no reason. Even if you make them kick it for 65 yards out, first one to make it wins. I don't know. I don't ever think you should end in a tie. But next one, Falcons Saints. Saints coming back from bye week. They're well rested. Really, the only players that I trust there is Juwan Johnson. Even Chris Olave has just been kind of just because he's more dependent on good quarterback play. So that's why I'm going to go with Juwan Johnson as my big stud for the Saints this week. Neither one of these teams are that good. The Falcons, we know Drake London. We talked about him at the top of the show, that he is going to be out with a knee. We don't know how long. Michael Penix, another knee. We don't know how long. We'll see. But Kirk Cousins coming in there. I don't know. Kirk Cousins, could he be Kirk O'Chains this week? I don't know. This could be one of those fun games to watch. So Tyler Shuck should still be the Saints starting quarterback. Should be. You want to see what you have in him. You just drafted him this year, so you want to see what you have in him. So this is honestly a game that I'm going to watch. I know might sound crazy. I'm going to watch this just because there's some players in the matchup that I want to see. I want to see how Kyle Pitts is used without Drake London there. I want to see how the Saints are going to look with Kellen Moore as their head coach, with Tyler Shuck and Chris Olave. They've had the bye week to really get on the same page. Like, I want to see how that's going to work out, because I really love Chris Olave. Okay, I think he's a super talented player. They don't have that top QB that Saints fans are used to having in Drew Brees. All right, you just don't have that. And he had a few years of Derek Carr, who wasn't bad. I think he was very underrated. Like, he wasn't bad, but I want to say this is like the lowest scoring game on the week, actually. No, it's not. Browns Raiders is. So it's one of them. It's one of the lowest scoring games. But I'm going to be interested to watch this Falcons Saints game. Sunday Night Football. We've got the Buccaneers traveling out to LA to play the Rams. So this could be really good. I think that the Buccaneers, it's also going to depend on, is Bucky Irving playing? Is Chris Godwin playing? If those two guys are not playing, I think the Rams are going to run away with this one. So I'm obviously you're playing Puka Nacua. Matthew Stafford is MVP candidate right now. You're playing Matthew Stafford. Kyron Williams, you're playing Kyron Williams. All right. For the Bucks, we saw Sean Tucker. Like, I didn't add Sean Tucker on my waiver list because I think this was just a 1 week thing. Like, once Bucky gets back, like, it's Bucky Irving, not Sean Tucker. Maybe if you're in Dynasty, you can go add Sean Tucker, maybe grab him for like a third or something. But I don't know. I think his best years were in college. As long as Bucky Irving is there, it's going to be him. But this is going to be a high scoring game. So I'm looking for lots of passing in this game. Baker Mayfield should go pretty nuclear here. I would probably look for him to run the ball a little bit more than he has. But yeah, so this is going to be pretty exciting to see. Hopefully this is another Emeka Egbuka game. I love me some Emeka Egbuka. I bought in when everybody was kind of fading him because of Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. I was like, nah, talent first. Talent always wins over. Now, yes, I get it. Godwin and Evans had some injuries, but Egbuka showed out, and there's no turning back. I mean, it is wheels up for Emeka Egbuka, and you're going to wish that you would have drafted him early in your rookie drafts. So Monday Night Football, last game of the week, we're looking at the Panthers, the 6-5 Panthers. Let's put some respect on that. The 6-5 Panthers going against the San Francisco 49ers at home in California. So little East Coast versus West Coast here. The 49ers are they're steadily rolling. Mac Jones has done amazing in Brock Purdy's absence. Amazing. Brock Purdy is going to be back. So, dude, look for the 49ers to just continue to do their thing, man. This is going to be really good for 49ers owners. You're looking at what? Oh, okay, never mind. I was like, what is McCaffrey available? But no. So you're looking at McCaffrey. He's just going to have a stupid game. It's going to be crazy for Christian McCaffrey. As always, I mean, Christian McCaffrey's been phenomenal this season. He had one game against Houston, which is why I believe in DeMeco Ryans, because like if you can contain Christian McCaffrey, I think that speaks volumes. So, but yeah, so the Panthers have been doing really good, but I think they're about to hit a brick wall when they face Robert Saleh's defense. The Panthers should get a reality check here. So go ahead and if you were able to grab Brock Purdy, that's good. That's all I got to say. I mean, the Mac Jones experience is done. Mac Jones will be starting for another team next year. Let's just hope it's not the Browns, okay? The Browns know how to ruin a quarterback. So, as you see at the bottom down here, at the banner, or if you're on mobile at the top, we got a free jersey giveaway. All right, so we're giving away a jersey once we hit 200 subscribers. I think at the start of this show, we were like 114, 116, something like that. So once we get to 200 subscribers, we will be doing a drawing live here on air, announcing the winner. And what we'll be doing is we'll be getting with you and getting, you got to get your size, got to get your address, all that stuff like that. That way we can mail you your free jersey. But you can't win the jersey unless you're subscribed to the Kingmaker Sports channel, which is at Kingmaker Sports. Very simple. Didn't want to make it complicated on anybody. Just at Kingmaker Sports. Very easy. So go ahead and subscribe at Kingmaker Sports on YouTube, so that way you can be entered to win that free jersey. Compliments of Kingmaker Sports. Normally we do have Slayton in here with us. Normally we do have Mick in here with us. So it's just solo tonight, just me. But I appreciate the questions. I appreciate you stopping in. Go ahead and share it to your friends. Let them know with the offseason coming up, especially your Dynasty friends, if you do that. If not, this is the place to be to learn how to play Dynasty. So keep on coming back week after week. We're getting down to the wire here. We got about 3 weeks left to go in the fantasy season, and then we'll be kicking off Dynasty season. So go ahead and stick with us. Hit that subscribe button so that way you can get your free jersey at 200 subscribers to win that giveaway. So without any further ado, we appreciate you coming in, and we will see you Sunday morning, 11 a.m., getting you ready with Kingmaker Sports Game Day morning. So hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and we will see you Sunday morning at 11 Central Standard Time. Peace.